Hey, so today or tonight, I want to talk about a personal journey I'm on. These past few couple of weeks, I've kind of finally understood what I wanted to do. I thought I knew what I wanted to do with my life. A couple years ago, I signed up for that major. I'm in my last semester of my undergrad. I'm graduating in December. And now I'm sitting here at 11 o'clock working on assignments for my major, and I'm like, you know, I definitely know what I want to do, and it's not, whoa, excuse me, and it's not what I majored in. Before that, I was like, I don't know if I can do school anymore. It's just so difficult. Under my degree, it's under my concentration is journalism, and my on paper it's English. So at my school, I write a lot. I write a lot. I read a lot. I stay up late writing a lot of papers, and it's just been a very overwhelming process for me. I used to enjoy it, but I feel when when you have to start doing things for grades, it's not as much fun as it used to be. And you can't do things on your own time. Like, I don't, before I didn't really used to mind writing papers when it comes to me, but that's definitely the real world for you. There's a lot of things that you like to do that you might not be able to do because of time constraints, or you have to do all the time and then you lose kind of the passion that you had for it. But and I used to be scared to do this for a long while, but when they say, oh, well, that's life, you got to get used to it, you got to do that 9 to 5, I'm really scared to break from that. I have a good job lined up, a good 9 to 5 job, a good corporate job that would definitely help pay off some of my tuition, my bills. But I don't know, maybe I'm stupid, but I guess a lot of people, you read those quotes about how people who kind of are the outliers of society. I'm not crediting myself as a genius, but like geniuses are often looked at as like foolish people during their time. I'm not saying I'm a genius, but you obviously have to be not thinking all the way straight if you're in a boat like mine. Ideally, the area I'm from, government work is very common. You go to school and then you come work for the government. And that's what my parents want for me. And not because they want to say, oh, my daughter works in the government to their friends, but because they want me to have financial stability. My mom told me one day that I think we had just gotten on the phone, and she said, oh yeah, I just finished praying for you, or I had a dream or something like that about how I really just want you to be financially stable. That's all I want. And obviously I would hope most, if not all, parents want that for their children, but I don't want to struggle anymore in front of them. There comes a time where and maybe I'm putting on too much pressure for myself because I'm just about to be 23 next month actually, but there comes a time where it's not appropriate for you as the child to struggle anymore, and it's time for you to start taking care of your parents, or at least be independent enough on your own where you're not relying on them to this extent anymore. Like, my parents are in their 50s. My dad is, give it a couple of years, he'll be in his 60s. I can't keep relying on them for a lot of what I rely on them now for. And I would have to say what I rely on them now for is mainly because, well, it took a long time to get here. I will be honest. I didn't always used to be like a go-getter. I was very okay, well, my parents will do it for me type of person. But I've definitely changed over the years, but I'm still kind of tied to them financially because of school and because of the amount that I owe. You know, I'm in this situation, which I'm sure a lot of people are, where FAFSA thinks my parents make enough money to put me through school out of their own pocket. And yeah, maybe if no one in the world had bills or other priorities, or, you know, so it doesn't exactly work that way. So financial aid gives me virtually nothing. And, you know, this is a story for another day, but every semester, I find myself in this situation where I'm so indebted to my parents, my loans. You know, I have a lot of loans out right now that I'm paying out of pocket for monthly. Like, my bill is coming up in 10 days, and I have to go pay that actually. And I guess to blueprint it, my concerns are that I just know what it's like. Maybe not to the extent of someone else, but I've definitely had my fair share of financial struggles, and it's not fun at all to live paycheck to paycheck, to be broke, to be wondering, how am I going to pay these bills? And, you know, like I said, mine is not to the extent where I'm like, where am I going to live? But it's still a very stressful and a stressful situation that takes a lot out of you. So I can only imagine what other people go through. But, you know, I don't know. I don't want to be in a situation where, you know, past 23, yeah, for a long time I'm like, I just can't wait to get out of school. Like, it's making me broke. It's not something I don't want to be a part of this institution where I am literally like starving myself so I can afford my loan payments. Not good at all. But what I want to major, well, I don't even know if this is something I want to major in per se. You know, when you're in the creative field, there are some things that you just get lucky enough that you get the connections for and you don't need a degree for. And there are other things where it's better to get a degree for a lot of other benefits. But I want to be an art director. And I want to just be in that creative field, and I want to paint. And it kind of seems like maybe a fantasy to a lot of people. And, you know, sometimes to me, to a different facet of what is me, I'm like, okay, girl, you know, painting doesn't pay the bills. I wish it did. But I just, you know, the creative lifestyle, or the starving artist lifestyle gets romanticized a lot, but I'm not even in that creative field. Well, English and journalism is somewhat creative, but you can still make a living off it. Not to say that you can't off painting and art direction, you definitely can, and there are professions that definitely make more than English and journalism out there. But I guess what I'm saying is, it's definitely another big leap for me to take. I don't want to be in a position where I'm, you know, living paycheck to paycheck again. But at the same time, I don't want to be 50 and say, well, what would have happened if I did this and I didn't do that? I think now is the time, especially in my 20s, where I'm able to take a lot of risks. Granted, you know, it might be stressful, but if I keep downing myself and telling myself, well, you know, I'd be scared, you know, it's stupid, like, yeah, it is, and I need to get over that, and I need to just do it, just look for these opportunities and do it, because that's what people do. Like, I'm sure a lot of artists, a lot of painters were like, yeah, you know, well, who did I read about the other day? I read about some artist that didn't go to school, and didn't go, I don't even think they finished high school. And I'm like, whoa, like imagine if this profession didn't work out for them. Like, where would they be right now? Granted, there are a couple of professions that you can have without a high school diploma, but it is nice to be comfortable financially. And, you know, when I say comfortable financially, I don't mean I need $1 million penthouse in the sky. I just, as I've said several times, don't want to live paycheck to paycheck because I've experienced some of that and it's not fun at all. But I'm going to do more research. It's 11:30 here and it's crazy. It sounds so ironic. It sounds like the title of a feature article even, that, you know, my senior semester, not even my senior year, like I graduate December 17th, it's October 4th now. This is the time that I finally know what I really want to do with my life, or what I want to do as a craft. I definitely still like some aspects of English and journalism, but and you know, that's definitely still something I can use as a trade. You know, I'm not saying, oh my God, I've hated my time in school. I haven't completely, but I definitely want to provide a lot of people with a service as an art director. I really think it would serve me well. So that's something I want to do, and I'm really excited by that. And maybe I'll make an update on this next month about how I've made steps to get to that path in my life. I don't know what I'm going to title this yet, but I definitely want to keep this going, and hopefully by the next couple rounds I'll be on a good path there. Thanks for listening, guys.